implementing the Alchemist into his play and just showing a great performance in the first series of the day. And Reprisal, of course, the one who was able to play against Moon and win at least one map. Not looking convincingly on the third one, but definitely a contestant for the playoffs. He is spawning in the left side here on Nomad Ides, and he's spawning in the yellow color.
Yeah, once again, Nomad Isles, once again a mirror, and I gotta ask you for a little favor. Can you turn over for a few minutes? You know I got my bad habits that I gotta...
Yes, of course,
Alrighty.
of course.
Thank you! I will be back in a sec.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
And now we're going to see the human mirrors, and since I'm a human player myself, I think I could give you one or two insights about that. We're gonna see some mercenary creeping for both of the players most likely here in the earlier stages, if Reprisal is not leaving me wrong and going for an expansion once again. But in Human Mirror, it's way too important to creep this mercenaries, cause you just want to have the dispel from the Forest Troll Priest that can dispel the Water Elementals in the early stages, and you want to have the Forest Troll Berserker with the huge DPS, with the piercing damage coming in, that can easily kill the footman of your opponent if he doesn't have defend earlier. So now the Archmage is coming out here for Jisoo, and he's now going for the Mercenary Camp right away, spawning the first Water Elemental. On the other side, we see the exact same thing, and now both of the players will start the Mercenary Camp right away, going to creep the turtles as well as these little crabs, and with that they will get a nice item as well as level 2 from that. Let's see who gets the upper hand in terms of item drops. So far the items are still not being crapped, because it's always this big little reddish turtle, reddish crab that is going to drop it. So let's see, we are paying attention to Jisoo's view right now. And this is going to be Boots of Speed for Reprisal, a good one. And the Ring of Protection +3, definitely not the best one. So in terms of items, a little bit of an upper hand here for Reprisal. You are sometimes able to chase down these footmen that are being microed away with the Boots of Speed, a little bit more easy. And are we going to see some more creeping here for Reprisal, or is he going to be on the aggressive? No, he's going to creep the expansion right away, not going for the green camp. With the 3 footmen, the 2 water elementals, he's just going for the Renegade Wizard here and this wolf, and the lightning shield is doing quite some damage. Finally, he's using the dispel on that, and actually you are able to dispel the lightning shield here, because on Echo Ides, if on Echo Ides your opponent is being lightning shielded, you cannot dispel it. Jisoo on the other side is going for the orange camp here, going for one more of these normal kind of items, while his opponent got a Glove of Haste and is super close to level 3 already. If he would only creep with the malicious in the meantime, the green camp close to his main base, he would have been already level 3. And what we also see is that Reprisal on the minimap, a small yellow dot, was going for the mercenary camp and wanted to steal the Berserker from his opponent, but didn't succeed. So Jisoo got the Berserker, and Reprisal on the other side got the Berserker, and now you can see it with these Boots of Speeds. Or with the Boots of Speed, he's able to chase down the footman, and as I said that, he lets go of it, pulls the creeps. I don't know why, because he's not creeping it at all. Now Jisoo is going to steal one of the creeps out of his opponent if he got the time to do that. Is he keeping the water elemental alive? Yes, because you have to use the stop attack before you attack this little purge guy. Other than that, he's going to purge your water elemental, and then it's gone in no time. Level 3 for Reprisal already, level 3 for Jisoo right now as well. 250 mana, I think this is a huge difference, since I saw the red human player just use his water elemental there. Forest Troll being sniped right away. 2 Forest Troll priests here for your Reprisal still alive. And this looks very, very bad for Jisoo. I think he has to retreat from here. He already lost the footman. He lost one of the priests. Reprisal, on the other hand, is even denying his own priest, not giving any experience points to his opponent. Both of players attacking already. We see defense 60 to 70% done already for Reprisal. Good stuff. Berserker finishing off one of the footmen here. Defend already researched for Jisoo. Now retreating here. Is he going to lose one more? There is still the Boots of Speeds on that Archmage though. Is he able to kill that one? Yes. Killing off a second footman from Reprisal. Now chasing the priest here. Is he going to kill that one? It's looking horrible. If you're losing another one, and now Reprisal is going to finish that one off, and in the meantime he's dispelling one water elemental of his opponent. So far, I think Reprisal is definitely getting the upper hand of this game. while Jisoo is just losing units after units, especially the Shadow Priest is not taking good care of them. Footman being sniped, Forest Troll will be killed. Not sure if he can actually send it into the creeps and deny it. No, he cannot. He's not going for that. He tries to run away, not realizing that the Archmage of his opponent got the boots of speed, so he will easily be able to keep up with him. Bam, last fireball being hit, and it's gone. 26 supply for Mr. Jisoo, while Reprisal is still on 31.
And I'm back.
Of course, he also lost a few units. Welcome back, Mr. Neo. And we see a human mirror here par excellence. Everything is very mirror. Everything is exactly the same, but Jisoo is falling off a little bit against Reprisal's early game pressure.
You think an alchemist can save him? You think an alchemist can save him?
Yeah, maybe you can heal him up in the middle by getting him on tier 2. But I wouldn't recommend it.
Nah, me neither. Doesn't really work against breakers, I guess. So, of course, double Arcane Sanctum for both players. Really curious about the second heroes, though.
For some reason, Reprisal stopped building his Arcane Vault, his Arcane Sanctums, and now he's back to it.
Alright. So...
Wow.
Where is his Arcane Vault? He needs it for breakers, right? Where...
Yeah, maybe he skips this even in Human Mirror. Yeah. I don't know. So far, it's not constructed. Finally, it is. There it is. And now the Town Portal has to be used by Jisoo. He wanted to get the Step of Teleportation, but the creeps will wake up if you move into them. And we see the infamous Blood Mage that Reprisal really likes in Human Mirror, and he's pulling it out once again. And this is a strategy that can hurt you a lot.
Especially against the Mountain King. If you play this perfectly, this Mountain King is just a big footman, stunning from time to time. So number one priority for Jisoo, I think, is keep your heroes as far away from the Blood Mage as possible. Maybe you can disable the Blood Mage with a Stormbolt, but I guess it's a lot harder. Especially since
I think best thing to prevent it is to get a Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Then just load him in whenever the Mana Flare starts.
But do you think he has the micro for that?
Yeah, I think he got that micro, but on the other hand, it's also sometimes you have to be careful because the Zeppelin can easily be sniped, especially by two Forest Troll priests, two Forest Troll berserkers, as well as the priest, and also the water elementals. Yeah. So there's just a lot of damage on the field. But Reprisal, on the other hand, he already got level 4, so he got the level 2 aura, which is great because it just gives your priest a lot of more regeneration, and they can keep up with the dispels to the water elementals. And he needs the level 2 on the Blood Mage, and then he's good to go, because then he got banished. He will banish your water elementals, then dispel them, so that the dispel is actually doing more damage when your water elementals are banished. And this is just so good. On the other side, Mountain King is getting closer and closer to level 3, so he really relies on that level 3 for this second hero, while Reprisal is also giving a lot of experience to his first hero. But it will not be enough for the level 3 here.
And the Mountain King has the Wand of Mana Stealing. This is, in this scenario, a great item that he can get mana back to get one Stormbolt out at least. So if he uses that correctly, that might help him in the fight.
He got quite some resources that he wasn't able to spend yet. He's still on 500 or close to 500 gold, and the mana drain is hitting the Mountain King hard. You said it. Without mana, he's basically a big useless footman. Now militias are being called here. Defense is being used. You can see the banish and the dispel on top of the water elementals. The priests have to be careful. A lot of piercing damage, especially the Forest Troll Forest Troll berserkers are going here for the priest kills. And also the water elemental just getting disabled by the banish. Just a great use here of the Blood Mage. He is famous for that heroes, and he is controlling it like no other. He really got his game down, and he got now 3 berserkers and is even saving one with the nice banish and the healing scroll. This is looking horrible for Jisoo, but now he's using a bolt onto a banished unit, and this is something really good. But Reprisal is also bringing his militias to the fight. And 47 supply for Reprisal going up against 38 supply from Jisoo. A lot of stuff still in production. I think he lost a huge chunk of militias already. Yeah. Mountain King completely drained, Archmage completely drained, and it's not looking good. This is a fight that you don't want to have against a Blood Mage player.
Especially, I
And
don't
yeah,
really get why he has no defense. Okay, now he has, but before he was facing 3 Berserkers without defense, man. That is an insta-loss, basically. Especially if you have that chance to deny the piercing damage, why don't go for it? The Mountain King now under pressure, getting 1 Stormbolt out, but being mana burned, mana drained again. Heal potion being used now, but 1 more Stormbolt, and then that's it for the MK. His units are dwindling and dying left, right, and center.
yeah. Even if he waits for the banish so that he can kill a unit off, it just takes this extra seconds before you can deal that damage. And now you can also see that he was lacking off that level 4 on the Archmage, since the priest couldn't keep track of the water limits. They couldn't keep track of the Dispel because they don't have the amount of mana that it would naturally need. And Reprisal on top of things was expanding close to his opponent. And he just had an expansion started there. So 11 minutes, basically a rape. We call it easiest cut of Reprisal's life. And Jisoo, yeah, just looking like a tier 2 kind of human player from South Korea.
Yeah, and that is definitely something to say here, because history tells us that Korean humans are basically not that great.
We had Swain back in the days. He was the best human player of them all.
That's true, but that is like 13 years ago.
Yeah, this is when Czech was like building his first team.
Yeah. Yeah, apart from that, we had Storm and Eve.
Our Storm was also pretty good
Well, he was...
for quite some time.
I don't think
really
he was
good.
good.
Storm was really good. Storm Blue, so strong.
He was a bench player for Meteor Makers, so... He
And
wasn't
Love
better-
Myth
Huh?
was also
Myth, yeah, that's right. But
He was also pretty good.
he was never, like,
Yeah, he was never top
playoff
tier, never winning the
material
big,
in
never
tournaments.
winning the big tournaments. But Swain on the other side, he won basically everything when he was still super active.
Well, I have a sheet here. Let me check that one. If Swain actually won a tournament in his life. Yeah, he
Yes.
won... What did he win?
He won one of the biggest television tournaments in Korea back
That's
then.
true. In 2004. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
See, I got the facts straight, boys.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that. All right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Damn. So he's definitely the best when it comes down to like stuff he won when he was still playing.
Yeah, but that was, as I mentioned before, in 2004.
Yeah. Besides that, we really haven't had like any kind of human superstar coming from Korea.
No, it was always like China
Night
had
Elf and
the
Undead.
humans, Korea had the
Night
Night
of Undead
Elves.
and orcs, of course.
And orcs, of course. Yeah, but yeah. What are you talking about? Like China or Korea?
Like Zakat back then.
Yeah, Zakat and Lin.
Yeah, Zakat and Lin. Like Zakat was one of the guys who actually just changed the entire game by doing this like split creeping. Before that, everybody got his units and the hero together, and you were creeping a camp.
Yeah.
But Zakat was harassing you and creeping in the meantime. This was something that he actually invented for the Orcish race. He was actually changing the game up for Orc like by a huge margin.
That's true.
Also, his Wyvern play, infamous. And Reprisal is going for a super fast altar here on Tarina Stand, so let's focus on the game.
Which is not Trina Stand, but Amazonia. It is the 1-0 for the human player in the yellow trunks. Reprisal, of course, the big favorite in this loser bracket final. The winner of this best of 3 will face Czech in the consolation final for the final spot in the quarterfinal. Jisoo made a name for himself in the game against Czech with the Alchemist play. But yeah, let's see. Fast altar. Would you rather think this points towards more aggressiveness, or maybe an expansion play, or what's that pointing towards?
What I usually do is, when I do this, is I spawn a water elemental and immediately run over to my opponent, keep the water elemental close to the laboratory, and creep the laboratory. In the meantime, I'm harassing my opponent heavily. So I kind of I kind of keep him from creeping, and at the same time, I try to do as much damage as possible. But what Reprisal is going to do is creep the mercenary camp really fast, maybe get a lightning shield there, and then get the level 3. And with the lightning shield and level 3, you can easily crush your opponent's main base and wreck his entire economy.
Alright, that would be very, very interesting. Of course, this is something that we saw back in the day when the green creep spots were not claws and circlets and gloves and stuff, but these consumable items including the lightning shield. And
Yeah, there was also back then, there was a gentleman's agreement when you play the game and the game started. You ask your opponent in Human Mirror, especially, you ask him, dude, are we doing this? Or are we just keeping the lightning shield out of the game even though we find it?
really,
Yeah, there was really like some kind of gentleman's agreement. So you talked about it before the game and it's like, do we use it or don't we use it? Because it was super ridiculous. And some people were like, okay, we just sell it or use it for creeping or whatever, but we won't use it offensively. And other people said like, I don't give a fuck about you. I will just break your entire main base.
can you give me an example for a bad-mannered player back then?
I can't really recall, but
Maybe
I
Mr.
myself,
yourself?
I myself found myself in the position that I said like I won't use it, and then I find it, and I see that he didn't find it, and then I will just use it inside his main base. So this is something that I pulled off in ladder. This is something that I like to use in ladder. So as soon as I realized I got it and he didn't, I just use it, even though I said I won't do it.
This is so...
That is
such
the
a
kind of
bitch
guy
move.
that like 14-year-old yAwS was. It's like very sexy.
Alright, this is, yeah. I wouldn't do this, but I can assume you in your teenage years, man, you were such a,
Yeah,
such
different
a bad
person.
boy.
Not
yeah.
that much different, but definitely more entertaining.
Alright, level 2 for Reprisal here. Not that aggressive as I see it here. Tier 2 tag immediately. So what did he find there? I didn't see it. He sold it right away, right?
Yeah, I think it has to be something useless. Or he used the replenishment potion to get some more
Yeah.
mana, but it's definitely nothing crazy. Could have been the sentry wards, but I haven't really checked. I think it's 2 sentry wards,
That's
because as you
true,
can
yeah.
see there's 2 yellow dots
Near
there
the
on the map.
tavern and at the right exit of Jisoo's
Yep.
main base. Right.
But yeah, so far it's like the cat is trying to catch the mice somewhere, and so far it's not catching anything. But Reprisal is keeping the pressure up on his opponent while he's creeping in the meantime here. I like that. Now going to try and kill something here inside the main base, or just maybe force his opponent back. And on the other side we see Jisoo is just getting sick of this, and he is like, enough is enough, and I will go and try and intercept that creeping.
That's right. We see a cancelled shop in the main base of Jisoo, and the floodgates will open once he gets this farm, and the peasants all get out. Okay, not all, but one get out there alive. And okay, he can't enter there in between the keep.
He
and
can
the
actually enter that main base if he wants to.
Okay.
Or one of the footmen is surrounded between towers and town hall, and now Reprisal has to use the town portal here.
But he got 2 farms out of this.
Yeah, but I think it's still the better end for Jisoo. Because if you force your opponent to use the town portal, it's always a great deal, especially in early game. Because when the Mountain King comes out, for example, and you don't have a town portal anymore, it's just like, goodbye, Mr. Archmage.
But he can't really build the Mountain King now because he's supply stuck.
Yeah, but he got plenty of resources. He could actually just power build if he
Power build,
wants
that's
to.
right.
But on the other hand, we see a huge advantage when it comes down to experience, because you can see that Reprisal's Archmage is getting super close to level 3, while Jisoo's Archmage is still level 2, and even by finishing that creep camp, he will not be level 3.
But he's going to the Murlocs with militias, as you can see on the minimap. So he's creeping 2 spots at the same time. The Taskmaster will give a lot of experience, and the Murlocs will finish that up. So I think that level 3 is very, very close.
Yeah, and keep in mind, the winner of this map, if it is Reprisal, he will go up against Czech one more time. Or not a one more time, because he never played against Czech, but he's going to play for the last spot in the playoffs. But right now we see Reprisal with a ton of footmen that are all full HP, and the Panda wants to apply more pressure to its opponent. And I don't think that I've seen Reprisal play the Panda all that much, because he usually prefers to play the Blood Mage.
Yeah.
But I think he's definitely capable of putting a lot of pressure on him right now.
And he's going towards the shop. I think Heal Scroll is available by now. Should be the case, right?
No, it's just when it hits day, you can get the
Okay.
heal scroll.
Okay. But he has the Panda with boots now and wants to get the Sasquatch for more experience. Maybe a last hit of Jisoo.
Oh,
Nope.
he even stopped. He even stopped the attack. He's not risking it.
Nice move by Reprisal. Getting that experience advantage. And yeah, you talked about it. A lot of footmen. And he continues the pressure. There is nothing fancy in the inventory of Jisoo here. Maybe a surround on the
Oh, the
Archmage. He's
Archmage,
trying to
yo.
block. Trying to drag him into the woods. But no.
He's trying to drag him into the woods.
Yeah. Or push him
I've heard that
towards.
story once. Whatever. Let's see what's going on. It's like really, it's demotivating you like so hard. He's close to your main base and he's basically creeping your camps and you can't do shit against that. Like, how frustrating can life be?
Yeah.
Now he's even getting the Zeppelin and wants to just drop inside your main base. Of course he's close to that, but he's just forcing him to stay inside his main base. And Reprisal, if he really wants to, he can just go tier 3.
Yeah, he doesn't have the resources yet because he's focusing on units at the moment, but he could, and he's waiting for the army to get away from the main base. There's still a water elemental in the base, but not really anymore. But it's only a level 1 panda and a few footmen.
Yeah, of course, but he doesn't know that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
It's like he thinks like his entire army is inside that Zeppelin. And now it's actually true, since the Arctic is joining. And he will drop inside that main base and try to do some damage here, but in the meantime, I'm not sure why he's sending half of his army, or actually a huge chunk of his army, to the middle. It doesn't make any sense to send it there. I'm not sure what he's doing. He's like, you know what? I don't show you my full forces. What the fuck?
We're about to see another Breath of Fire, not catching that many militia or peasants, but focusing on the towers. And he succeeded doing that. Everything is down. The static defense of Jisoo. He invested a bit into this.
Yeah, and if he's only killing a few militias, it's already worth it. Of course, he lost 1 or 2 footmen. But just by getting so much mining time of your opponent, just being annoying and just being a dick, it's just rattled the cage of your opponent's mental stability, and I really like that.
It's a nice metaphor, my friend. I think he lost 3 footmen. So,
Yeah, now he's getting the confirmation on what's actually going on, since Jisoo, I think, was actually curious. Is he going to tier 3? Is he going for upgrades? But the Zeppelin has to be careful, because on the other hand, if that Zeppelin drops above the forest, Reprisal just has to call it GG.
Yep. We saw that last week, I guess.
And also, he doesn't have a town port. I'm not sure if he got one or bought a new one. I actually bought a new one.
This will hurt a lot. This is the typical Reprisal play that we see here. Zeppelin drops over and over and over again. If you remember the WCAC qualifier against Lucifer, that was basically what won him the third and deciding game in a very, very tight series. And this is it. He escapes after killing like 2 peasants, I guess. And in the meantime, he's just gathering strength, building more units, getting the breakers, getting the priests, getting everything that he needs, and disturbing the force of Jisoo.
What a ugly execution here from Mr. Reprisal. Of course, it's beautiful in terms of I have a sentry ward inside his main base and know whenever he leaves. So he doesn't have to peek in and see if his opponent is still around. He just got the confirmation right away. He just knows there's a sentry ward. I know if you are leaving, I will just drop inside. Now we see a Dispel on top of the water elements. Oh, the bolt being dodged by the nice pick off from the Zeppelin here. And the illusion is checking on the main base, but the forces from Reprisal are still gathering around that gold mine. He could actually creep in the meantime the mercenary with the remaining forces, I guess.
True.
Or maybe even the expansion with a militia support without heroes.
You think Jisoo is a little panicking at the moment because I think he sent like 9 peasants to the gold mine?
Not sure if he's already in panic mode, but it's like very, very frustrating to be in his shoes right now.
Oh, he can't.
Now the 2 Arcane Towers are finished, and I think this is good. And now I think Reprisal is listening to us. He's going to creep with the remaining forces. He's going to creep the Goblin the Natural Expansion. And too bad that he's not getting hold of that, because he's creeping close by.
That would be a disaster for the WCAC champion, who then later dropped out in the group of death at WCA against Infi and Yumiko. So, 50 food for Reprisal. Maybe he's searching that open fight. What item does he get? Oh, no, expansion play.
Yeah, let him build that expansion and just hit him right now. Would be the perfect call for Jisoo, because now he's investing heavily inside of the expo, and Jisoo on the other end is going above 50. Perfect call to just fight right now.
Okay, here we go. But there's a Zeppelin, of course. Stormbolt catches the Pen and Brewmaster. He has a Scroll of Healing, so maybe that saves his ass here. And of course, a Zeppelin Micro. But Vampiric Aura, not that bad at the moment, but you mentioned it's kind of overhyped. But at the moment, Reprisal still walking forward with his army. More militia. Oh no, I'm out of sync.
Oh, the buffer, the fuck.
Yeah, buffer for me too. Okay, now here we go again. Militia is coming to aid Reprisal in that fight. Archmage leveling up to level 4, I guess. And he's chasing the army of Jisoo away and buying more time for his army, sending that, beautiful, saving that Spellbreaker with the Zeppelin. And
yeah, beautiful micro from Reprisal there, keeping 2 of the breakers alive, not even getting rid of all the priests, just resetting the fight in the back of the army here. Mountain King dropping low, finally the militias, but way too late for that fight, and the expansion is established already, and he's mining from it now. And if he's not winning the fight, he's not winning a fight in 5 minutes from now, so he really has to force it. But the Panda.
Oh, Zeppelin saves him again. Well, that was really close. That was the final Stormbolt here for the MK. And he can be very aggressive with the Archmage since he has a Town Portal and the big Invul Potion from that spot here. He gets hit by a bash, but look at the army, man. So many breakers for Reprisal. Still up at 56 food. He's retreating into his towers now, maybe just to get the Panda back up, level up for the Mountain King after killing a unit here. But he's only level 3. Oh, well, it is level 3, so that's a big deal, but he has no mana at the moment to hit the Stormbolt.
Yeah, it's really not looking good for Jisoo. He tries to do everything in his power, but the big Invo Potion being... he still got the big Invo Potion, and he's now transitioning it over to the Panda. So even though he gets bolted, he shouldn't die. And there's no bolt right now on that Mountain King. He's down to 50 mana. He needs at least 75. The Arcane Towers are in position that are very, very good against all the priests, for example. Also burning the mana from the heroes and doing extra damage against the water elementals. The troll is still attacking one of the towers as well as one peasant, but you can see the supply advantage is real right now. He just gets so much more gold at the moment. And there's no chance for Reprisal to actually keep that... Or no chance for Jisoo to keep himself into that game, I guess. Look at the breaker account here.
It's so crazy. Panda getting saved again. Even the Water Elemental getting saved by that Zeppelin. And he's not able to kill it, to get it out of the air, since the micro of Reprisal is that good. And now once again the red player here, the red human, is retreating. The breaker count is insane. I guess it's like 9 breakers for Reprisal, or even more, against 5 or whatever it is for Jisoo. And now that he's mining, okay, he is attacking a tower, but it keeps himself alive with mass repair. Of course, this slows down the mining a bit, but in the end, it's definitely worth it. And now all the breakers of Reprisal and the breakers of Jisoo, wrecking them. Finally, the Zeppelin goes down. Maybe he's going for the Mountain King here. Looked like a surround, but no, not anymore.
At least the satisfaction of killing that Zeppelin in the end. But it's like, it gave him such a hard time. It gave him such a headache. He didn't know how to respond to the Zeppelin Harris earlier. And GG from Jisoo. And we will see Reprisal against Czech in a moment, I guess, from now. And this is a match that I'm looking forward to. But Jisoo, on the other hand, really leaving a mark. Not in this best of 3, but in the best of 3 against Czech. For me personally, it was just a great game, especially the Alchemist, something that we didn't expect. And I personally have never seen being played that efficiently. Definitely leaving a mark here. So, good player, but not tier 1 yet.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more games of his. Maybe we can catch some Indra Cups now that I know that they when they start. So yeah, let's see about the future career of Jisoo. Reprisal, of course, undermining his favorite status in this tournament, or in this group at least. And now there's one best of 3 remaining. It's going to be Czech, it's going to be Reprisal, and it's going to be a best of 3 for the final spot in the quarterfinal. And we'll send you into a small break, and then we're back.